Well, hello my lovelies, it's Murky Meg here. It's Friday the 24th of September and this is my second video today. So if you haven't seen my first video, please click on the link in the right hand corner and it will take you to my first video. And I'm continuing on from that video with them being in New York City. But this video is all about what might be affecting you because they have been traveling around New York with a huge amount of security. And I'm trying to get to the bottom of who's paying for that security. Not only that, but I just like to note that these two are bombing around in New York City with 3 huge gas-guzzling SUVs. That's right, the Prince of Hypocrisy and the eco-warrior himself. They have been motoring around New York in a convoy of 3 gas-guzzling SUVs for 3 photo ops. How on earth can somebody spout about climate change yet spin around for them and all of their security, which I'll talk about in a few moments, in gas-guzzling cars? Pure hypocrisy. One of the so-called meetings was at the UN, of all places, where they had important discussions on COVID-19, racial justice and mental health. Same bandwagons. How are they experts? What are the experts on? Now, I was scratching my head all day thinking, what's the point of this? Why? Yes, they're going to the Global Citizen Vax Live event on Saturday, but they could have just flown in and flown out, or come in and come out, whatever they want to do. But by creating all this drama and this buzz in New York and making these photo opportunities, they're effectively looking like the royal family. And that's it, isn't it? The royal family have had the summer off. There's been very little engagement with the public, but now they've started to step up because the kids have gone back to school, they've had their summer holiday at Balmoral and stuff like that. Their engagements have just suddenly started again. And lo and behold, up pop Harry and Meghan, who are supposed to be on paternity and maternity leave, to do this spectacular trip in New York and just obliterate the papers. What's really got everybody annoyed is the fact that they had security. Now, they need security, I get that. But it seems like this was federal security. One of the bodyguards that was escorting them around New York has claimed to work for the Department of Homeland Security. That's right, he works for the DHS. He was seen escorting them between hotels and their engagement. This bodyguard told the Daily Mail reporter that he was from the DHS but didn't specify which agency, leaving the possibility of federal involvement in the security payment of their trip to New York. Now, the Department of Homeland Security didn't apparently immediately respond to multiple inquiries from all over the newspapers. Now, the federal department is completely encompassing of things like Secret Service, Federal Protection Service and Homeland Security investigations. Now, the Secret Service typically only protects visiting heads of state and their immediate families within the US, while lesser dignitaries fall under the protection of the State Department. Now, apparently the Daily Mail spoke to a former Secret Service agent, Jonathan Wackrow, and he said that the UN General Assembly had stretched the resources of the State Department's diplomatic security service, which has protected Harry during past official visits to the US when he was a working royal. Very important, that bit. Now, the Secret Service agent, or the former Secret Service agent, I do apologise, said that it was possible that Homeland Security investigations or agents from another Department of Homeland Security agencies were supplementing the State Department's protective efforts during the busy UN session. He said that right now, under the United Nations General Assembly, it's all hands on deck for federal protection. He said that Homeland Security investigations have been brought in to provide supplemental protection, and you may have this agent from Homeland Security supplementing the detail. He said, referring to Harry and Meghan's New York visit security. He also noted that although Harry and Meghan have stepped down from official duties, they are still family members of the British head of state and thus might reasonably expect some government protection while in a high-threat environment such as Manhattan during the General Assembly. While they're not the head of state for the United Kingdom, they are part of the head of state's family, and at times, as such summits, global gatherings, it is warranted they receive some level of protection, even if it is taxpayer-funded protection. If something were to happen in New York and the government were not extending protection to the Duke and Duchess, they would be a major diplomatic incident. Now, the Daily Mail also asked the NYPD whether they were involved in the protection of Harry and Meghan, and they were unsure of who was providing the Sussex's security. They had not heard about their officers being drafted in to provide cover and added that they doubted the department would do so. Although I have to note that several New York police officers and Port Authority officers were present at the World Trade Center of the cordoning off of the area during one of their meetings. So the police were there, the NYPD were there, but they weren't there possibly to do their security. They were probably there to do so-called crowd control, but I didn't really see a massive crowd, to be honest. Will the people of New York be happy to see Harry and Meghan? Don't know. Any New Yorkers out there listening? Please let me know. But it's incredibly interesting that the UN is in session right now, isn't it? That they chose that time to go to New York. This is all about projecting what their value is worth. Did they know if they went to New York at the time that the UN was in session that they would have no other option but to be provided security by Homeland Security or the Department of Homeland Security? Canny, aren't they? But I don't think their trip is just about showing off. It's more tactical than that. By going there at the same time, they can align themselves with all these movers and shakers of the UN, hijacking the importance and making it look like they're equally as important, and that is the reason why they're there, when in fact they weren't actually there for the same reason at all. Simply hijacking the hype, weren't they? Trying to align themselves with these influential people, when in fact all it was a photo opportunity. This is what they're doing. They are trying to project themselves as extremely important individuals within the United States, that their opinion matters, that their opinion should be listened to by global leaders. That is very evident with regards to the Afghanistan statement. They urged global leaders to listen to their voice. The Vax Live concert, I bet you they will say, we urge global leaders. We want to work with global leaders. Well, who are these two individuals? They're just simply an American and an expat royal. What global influence do they have? What exactly are they trying to do? Needless to say, the security payment detail has gone down with Americans like a lead balloon. Let's not forget, they took the taxpayers' money from the UK. They went to Canada and took taxpayers' money for their security. When they came to the US, it was Trump that said, ha 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 ha, no. But Trump is no longer in office. And the fact that Harry is very close to Joe Biden, you can bet your bottom dollar that their security is being funded by the taxpayer whenever they go to events like this. I suspect it will be anyway, but that's just my opinion. If they have diplomatic status, which nobody really knows, but I suspect, again my own opinion, that they do, they will be receiving more security under the Biden administration because they are friends with them. You know, Trump said absolutely not, no way. But could things have changed because we have a different person in office, or you have a different person in office? It's a major possibility, isn't it? But then I've got to play devil's advocate. If something did happen to them while they were on the streets of New York, then there would be outcry. And there lies the problem that Harry has. Who protects him? Who's responsible for protecting and who's responsible for paying? And I'd like to ask this directly to any Americans out there. Are you happy if Harry and Meghan receive money from your tax payments for their security when they're out and about on their little royal trips, their royal tours that they want to be? They go to any city and they receive security. Are you happy that that security may well be footed by your tax dollars? And as Americans, I think you have the right to know if they are. I would love to know your thoughts on all of this. Do you think it's right that you, as Americans, are footing the bill? Non-Americans, do you think it's right that Americans could be footing the bill? Or do you think that Harry and Meghan are wealthy enough in their own right to foot their own bill? As always, I would love to know your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.